Episode 1. Handa, a young school student with calligraphy skills, resumes at a new school. He is handsome, and for that, a lot of people love him. However, Handa has been bullied in middle school, and as a result, he believes everyone who knows him hates him. He misinterprets everyone's kind gesture for hate. He is used to his shoes being stolen by bullies in his former school, so he carries them without putting them in the locker. He opens his locker and sees a letter. He knows letters as such can either mean a letter of misfortune, and if it's a letter of misfortune, he needs to send it to someone else, and he has no one to send it to. He throws the letter away. Someone tells him the letter is from a pretty girl. One of his classmates, Juri, tells him the letter is from Maiko. So Maiko comes to him and asks to see Handa after school. He doesn't want to see her, so he gives a letter to Maiko's best friend, Juri, who mistakes the letter for a love letter. Juri wonders why Handa will love her instead of pretty Maiko. She asks Maiko why Maiko is friends with her, and Maiko says because she makes her feel good and pretty. She refuses to tell Maiko of Handa's letter, and Maiko waits for Handa. Episode 2. Handa realizes they are waiting for him. Maiko walks towards him to give him a letter, but Juri throws it away. This happens again, and Handa walks away, telling them they should value their friendship. Maiko gives him the letter again, and he insults her handwriting. The friends decide they will learn calligraphy and compete for Handa again. The class needs a class governor. Handa presents himself for the election. And also Aizawa. They decide to vote, and in the end it's a tie. They play a rock-scissors game, and Handa wins, but he leaves the position for Aizawa, who realizes that even Handa voted for him. He gives the position back to Handa. The class has a new student, Ryo, who is a model. He gets jealous of Handa. He tails Handa and sees his boss trying to scout Handa as a model. He begs them otherwise, but his boss pushes him away. He asks Handa to be his model, but Handa refuses. Ryo realizes Handa isn't greedy for what others have. Episode 3. Handa is sent to bring a bullied student back to school. The picture he receives from school is of a very small boy, but when he sees Tsutsui Akane, he's huge. Handa is shocked, and Akane tells him he watched a video after his bullying that caused him to become huge. While he convinces Akane to return to school, some bullies come to find Akane, but upon seeing Handa, they run away. For that reason, he decides to return to school. At school, Handa makes pudding for his teammate in cooking class, which are Akane, Ryo, Aizawa, and Condo. After school, he meets with his best friend, Kawafuji, who sees how timid Handa is and remembers he was the cause. While they are at middle school, he lies to Handa that his crush insulted him, and that's why Handa became that reserved. Episode 4. At school, Handa finds out someone is selling handwritten poems in his name. Akane and Kondo, who have always determined to protect Handa, go there and see it's a boy named Hanada. After seeing some of the things Handa goes through, Hanada feels he can't be Handa, and he decides to apologize to Handa. He didn't meet Handa, however, Handa gives his mother flowers, and some students see him and assume it's his girlfriend. They take his picture and it speaks around the school. Mio, a girl that likes him, sees it and decides to commit suicide. As she attempts it, she sees him through the window talking at his table, and she changes her mind. The same day, Handa's mother comes for a school meeting where the teacher complains about his interpersonal relationship, so that day he decides to make friends with Condo. Episode 5. One day at school, Handa meets the student council president Sabako, who is a feminist. She hires some girls to seduce Handa, and when they fail, she commands him to wear skirts. He tries to run away, but falls, and loses his memory. His new form is more friendly, and his Handa's protesters assume he is becoming cheap. They chase him and attempt to hit his head to recover his memory. While they chase him, he falls. He regains his memory and sees them with a hammer. He assumes he is hated and enters his wall again. Episode 6. As a result of what they did, he withdraws completely, even from Kawafuji. So Kawafuji invites him to a basketball game with another colleague, Hanzawa. He dresses like a lady, but later, when he is bullied, he changes back to his cloth. He returns to school and a new student who is a fortune teller joins his class. He asks her to read his palm, and she tells him that he has long years of misfortune. He won't have a wife, but he will have a lot of children. She tells that Handa's protect her about the fortune, and they laugh. This makes Handa assume they hate him. Episode 7. They release the students' test result, and 2 of the team fail. The other 2 decide to help the others who failed to read for the supplementary exam. On examination day, they find Handa in the hall. He has forgotten to write his name, so he failed too. They assume he came for the exam because he likes them. Eventually, they do the exam and pass. Handa's influence also gets to the library where he borrows a book from the librarian, Hirayama, who gives him a romance book instead of a calligraphy book. The Handa team realizes he loves books, and they help Hirayama recreate the bookshop in a favorable manner that people start visiting. Episode 8. Based on Kawafuji's advice, he attends a school trip where he meets students from another school, Shiro High, where their most popular student, Ichimiya, also has his force. Members of the Ichimiya force hear about the Handa force, and they start hating Handa. Ichimiya also feels low esteem for Handa, so when they clash, Ichimiya asks Handa to be his friend as they can be kings together. But Handa refuses and says Ichimiya is too popular for him, and Ichimiya has friends. This makes Ichimiya realize that he has taken his friends as subjects and decides to make valuable friendships. Episode 9. Upon returning to school, they get a new biology teacher, Okayama, who asks the students to dissect a frog to learn kindness. When they refuse so, he asks Handa to convince them. They accept, and during the practical, since Handa is afraid of frogs, his frog falls. He behaves possessed and tells the teacher to release all the frogs. The teacher realizes dissecting frogs won't teach them kindness, and they are kind regardless. Members of the Handa force, Eraser and Dash, stalk Handa together. That day, he is meant to meet Kawafuji, but the force doesn't let him rest. He screams that they are disturbing him, but these guys take his statement in a positive light and keeps promising to protect him. Episode 10. Condo is an average student. He was presumed normal by everyone before he became part of the Handa force. That day, he receives a letter from a female student. He happily goes, but the girl only tells him not to feel himself. He leaves angrily but meets Handa on the way. Handa remembers him as one of the boys harassing him, so Handa walks away. Episode 11. The school starts preparing for their annual festival. The students in Handa's class suggest what they should do and bring out 3 suggestions. 1 calligraphy class, 2 maid cafe, and 3 Romeo and Juliet. He is asked to pick one. He wishes to choose a calligraphy class, but he feels his classmates may object, so he runs away. He sees the student council president who asks him to help her with some writing. He regains his courage and decides to pick a calligraphy class. However, before he returns to class, the students refer Romeo-Juliet Cafe. They all work together and they organize a sweet festival. They are to do a drama of Romeo and Juliet, and Handa prepares for his line. Episode 12. A club does a manga in Handa's name. Students from another school, Kuro High, a school that is known for raising delinquents, comes to their festival to find Handa. Also, Ichimiya and his force attend the festival, and they ask to meet Handa too. They all meet at Class 7, where Handa prepares to give his speech after the bang. A fight starts between the schools, and the members of the Handa force bang on the door. Hearing the bang, Handa assumes it's time for him to speak. He gives a speech about love and the absence of a fight. When he realizes it isn't time, he runs inside. His speech unites the 3 schools which are known to hate each other. The result of the competition is announced and Handa's class wins. As he is about to be awarded, Kawafuji shouts that it's his class that owns the award, and all the students scream. He brings his wall back and tells Kawafuji that he will be hated for being his friend. Kawafuji tells him to remove the wall and look at the students well. He sees that they are all praising him. Kawafuji tells him he is famous and he isn't hated. He says the reason Handa thinks he is hated is that he looks at the students from the perspective of being hated. As Handa removes his wall, he sees the students chanting his name. The student council president builds a mikoshi on his behalf. Handa gives a speech. He says he doesn't deserve the medal for the competition and announces that everyone who participated in making the contest successful is a winner. The following day, Handa comes out of the house and meets and welcomes his new friends. He returns to his cheerful self. Thanks for watching our video. If you want us to recap the next season, let us know in the comment section.